Hello and welcome to another episode on Football Talk Podcast. My name's Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. Now today I'm joined by a special guest who really knows his football inside out, and it's Nurbeats Football Analysis. Nurbeats, firstly, thank you so much for coming on the show. How are you today?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me, and hopefully we can, keep this good run going with Liverpool and keep this good vibes going. You know what I mean?
That's it. Let's talk about that. So Liverpool, in terms of their form or their start of the season, has been for me under the radar from the neutral fan point. But I think we've done really well. We've got 5 wins, a couple wins coming from having 10 men and coming from behind as well. We've got a draw, no losses. The draw, looking back, it's a bit disappointing that it was against Chelsea as well. But
Yeah.
we move in that regards. And then 17 games unbeaten since last season in the Premier League. So how are you feeling right now as a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, man. I'm feeling good, man. I was confident when we signed McAllister, Szoboszlai, and it was them for a while, right? And then Endo came through the door, and there was a lot of fans that were like, losing their heads and stuff.
Yeah.
However, I thought like if we could go, as you said, go under the radar, just keep getting results. I didn't mind too much about performances or what have you. If we can stay with the pack until around the new year, and then the second half of the season, once the team is gelled and people know each other a lot better, then we can kick on. But Liverpool obviously surprised all of us and continued their trajectory from last season, and they're just going up, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure. We've got new superstars that's being born at Liverpool.
Yes, certainly. I think for the neutral fan, they're like, oh, Liverpool aren't doing nothing because they've pretty much done surgery in terms of their squad, where they've pretty much got a brand new midfield, 4 midfielders that came in, which is like, when you think about it, was actually surprising for a lot of fans. A lot of fans predicted that we might just get the one midfielder and the one centre back. Like, there was a lot of low expectations from fans in terms of who we're going to sign. Because there's a lot of names thrown out there, but I was always confident that we'd sign at least 2 or 3. But we got the 4th one, which was fantastic. In terms of, so we played the Europa League as well, and we just recently played against Leicester City. What was your thoughts in terms of that game? How do you think we did?
No, man, I'm absolutely loving how we can field 2 quality teams now.
Yeah.
That even at our pump, I don't think we had the kind of depth that we have right now. It's almost becoming ridiculous. You've seen the front 3 completely change from what it was against did we play West Ham against West Ham?
Yeah.
And it's not like there's not like a massive drop off. You can see the flow. The game is going well. They're interchanging well. Jones was playing at right back, and he played really well. He surprised me. I thought he was gonna may struggle a little bit, but he was just roaming around the pitch everywhere, and you saw it kind of suited him. Perhaps not even having a specific position to just hold down throughout the game.
Yeah, it's true. He was very impressive. I was definitely shocked when I saw that lineup, especially when they posted on Instagram. It's just the line of players. So I'm thinking, who's playing right back? Is it Endo? Because everyone tells me that, oh, don't worry, Endo can do all of this, covering different positions. I'm like, okay, fine. Because I've seen him play for Japan and stuff, but never seen him play in a more defensive position. So for me, that's still a question mark in terms of that. And I was thinking, nah, it can't be Jones. But then I was like, okay, fine. And then it was quite intriguing in terms of how they set him up. So playing him on the right first, and then eventually he was playing as a centre back in terms of positionally, and then you had Konate shifted, kind of like what Trent did a few weeks back as well.
Yeah.
And then eventually did an inverted role where he was alongside Endo in a double pivot. But like you said, he was just a free roll, roam. He was at left wing at one point, so he was just doing his thing. So for me, in terms of Jones, I feel like, I don't know, the shackles are off with him. Last season, I feel like maybe due to the injuries, he couldn't really find that rhythm. But this season, I feel like he's just got different speed about him. So even when he's dribbling, he's got a burst of speed that I haven't seen in a while. Playing with confidence. And I think you make a good point about the squad. It's been a while since we've had a second string where we're like, do you know what? These guys can still do damage. Our attackers, we'll talk about in terms of predicted lineups as well. it could literally be any one of like 5 or 6 players, and that's for me shows our sort of like credibility as goal scorers as well, in terms of we can get a volume of goals this season. We've got 15 so far. I think Brighton have the highest in terms of goals I've scored. I think they've got 18 in the league, and Man City's got 16. So no, I've been very impressed in terms of the signings. Who's impressed you the most? I think it's a quite obvious question, but let me hear your thoughts in terms of each signing.
Yeah, no, you know what? During preseason, I know you watched some of the preseason games, and Szoboszlai kind of went under the radar. Like he was kind of like a little bit underwhelming. No, but he wasn't really showing what he's showing right now. And so everyone was like, is he gonna fit? How long is he gonna take to adapt to the Liverpool team or what have you, or the Premier League? And then the first game of the season occurs, and he's like just stealing the show against Chelsea. Then second game, and he's the star man again. Third game, and he just keeps going on and on and on. And like he played multiple positions. I remember in the Chelsea game, like he got switched to left wing at one point, and he was still doing well. I'm thinking like we've got like a and I know a lot of people comparing him to Gerrard, but yeah, that's what Gerrard showed in the earlier stages of his career. That it was very, very mobile and adaptable to a lot of positions. His skill set actually make him a really, really good player to cover a lot of positions. And that's how football is anyway headed. You know, players are now expected to be not just expert in one position, but almost experts in 2 at least. And this guy's probably he's probably mastered 3 or 4, man.
Yeah, played as a DM at one point as well, and he was just like running the show, like playmaker. Watching him at Leipzig, because I've been raving about this guy for months. So for me, he was like the dream signing. And I thought, I did a review show, I feel like in March. I was like, this is a guy that I want. You know, he's got a release clause. It's funny, everyone's like, oh, the release clause was like, you know, hidden news. I knew about it a few months ago. So
yeah,
I'm just a podcaster, so I don't even know like how I knew about it. But yeah, I was glad we got him. And then what really surprised me is what you mentioned, his adaptability to play different roles. And he doesn't look out of place, which is weird, because with some players you can tell that, oh, they're lacking something in that area, but because he's so energetic, and I feel like he's a very intelligent player as well. He knows where to move around and what to do, and the passing as well, like his first touch on the ball, it's phenomenal.
Quality guy. There was actually situations where you would see his intelligence emerge in that Chelsea game, that first game, where he would be defending at one point and also in the other box at literally a couple of seconds later. So you thought this guy's got energy, but now if we compare him like to a Gakpo, who's good at 2-3 positions himself. Yeah. However, he struggled with that initial midfield role.
Advanced 8,
and Szoboszlai, I wouldn't even be surprised if the guy could play in goal at one point. Let's say get like two red cards and the keeper's off, and someone in outfield has to go in, and the guy could probably pull off something. Because sometimes I don't know, growing up, you've come across one of those kids that can probably do everything. He's good at football, good at basketball, good at badminton, good at table tennis, and you're like, freaking this guy, leave something for us, bro.
It's true. Nah, I think he's got it all in his locker. And the scary thing for rival fans, he's only going to get better. He's like 22, and I feel like he's got so much room to grow, and I feel like his ceiling is very, very high. One thing that I want to make note of, so obviously we chat on Twitter quite a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like me and you were like advocates of trying to get Ryan Gravenberch into the club, because a lot of fans were like, nah, we want Thuram. He kind of became the flavor of the month, so everyone wanted Thuram. Then it switched over to Kone at one point. But I feel like you were the only one that I saw on Twitter that was like, Gravenberch, he's the guy. And I'm like, yeah, I co-sign that. So how does it feel that we've actually signed Gravenberch and he's through the door now?
Do you know where it is? Yeah, because I got PDST after what happened with Caicedo, innit? So when the rumors came out with Gravenberch, I was like, and there was United linked as well. So it's like, all right, I'm not getting attached to this one. But I'm like, I hope we sign this guy. But yeah, as you said, like a lot of people were writing him off, saying just because he had that one basically season where he didn't really play at Bayern Munich and he wasn't given a chance, and everyone was just sleeping on him. And I was thinking, guys, do you not remember? Because some of the players that actually, like Szoboszlai, played well against us for Salzburg, and I was like, this guy, we need to get him. And then when Leipzig took him, I was like, I think we might have missed the boat. But then when we were re-linked with him in the summer, Szoboszlai, and I was thinking, what? He's only 22 still. Like, I was scratching my head. I thought he was 22 at that time. But I was like, yeah, whatever. But then Gravenberch was linked, and I was like, yeah, no. After what he did to, I remember Henderson, he ran the show at Anfield. And I was like, this kid, I was like, who's this kid, bro? Because he would like carry the ball, and he was a tall guy, but was so nifty with his feet. His passing was well, it was good. His creativity was there. Yeah, he's got some defensive lapses, but that can be learned, especially him being so young. He's like 20, 21. And he's got a lot of potential, and I saw that, and I know you saw that, and we both were like, listen, we can see an absolute gem here, like that Klopp can turn into and mold into a world-class superstar.
No, I agree. In terms of McAllister, so this is I feel like a big debate amongst us Liverpool fans, where some fans are quite dissatisfied in terms of seeing him playing as a number 6. What's your viewpoint? Because I've said it quite a few times that I actually don't mind him playing that number 6 role. I know it's not his favorite or his strongest role, but you got to see what players we have in front of him as well. So the likes of Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, they're ball carriers, so they can do a real good job in those roles. Whereas McAllister, he's such an intelligent player that I don't feel like he needs to play further up top to be effective. He can do it as a deep playmaker. So let me know what you think in terms of his role at the club.
Yeah, you know what, 100%, because he's more of like he's, as you said, his style of play is more intelligence, more thinking like a couple of moves ahead rather than, you know, using the physicality where Ryan Gravenberch maybe would like go past 2 or 3 players with just sheer physicality, just speed and power. However, he knows he doesn't have those attributes, so he has to obviously adapt his game a little bit better. And so as you saw it, like, you know, it takes time as well for players to adapt to a new role, a new team. So as you saw, what he's really capable of was that with that Nunez assist from deep, because not many saw that apart from him. Like, he basically spotted Nunez. I don't even think Nunez spotted it, because Nunez reacted quite late. Usually you would see the striker like make the run and then the player play it. Literally, he played it and then Nunez reacted. And so it was like, you could see that he's got the attributes, but I feel depending on opponents, he could easily play as the 8. So I think against stronger opponents where we need a little bit more control, he might go in the 8 and you know, try and calm some of the players down and calm the play down. Sometimes we might go 90 miles an hour, like, you know, against Chelsea. You saw we was just bypassing the midfield and just going long all the time. And so and that comes from also not knowing your players, in it. So the players sometimes don't trust McAllister at that time. The first game they were like, should we give it to him in this hostile environment? Can he handle it? But obviously once you get to trust, it's all about trust. Once you trust the player and you can trust him in almost all scenarios, and you can just, you know, take those risky passes and into him. And so I think he's very adaptable, and I was hoping, part of me was hoping that Thiago will be fit by now, and we could see like a midfield of Szoboszlai, Thiago, and McAllister, and see how that would work as in a possession type style of play. Let's say if the team is a stronger team like a Man City, I would love to see that, because that's when you need to really hold on to the ball and not play like that ping pong type of football.
Yeah, you and me both. I'm waiting for that news to hear that Thiago's available, is in the squad, because right now it's a mystery. He's training, but it doesn't seem to be match fit right now. So hopefully it's sooner rather than later. In terms of other midfielders, what have you made of Endo's inclusion to the squad so far? I feel like he did really well against Leicester. For me, he was man of the match. So I like the fact that he wears a gum shield as well. Like
Yeah,
he's all business, all action.
he's ready for war, bro. That shows he's ready for war. But yeah, no, simply like after the last game in the Europa League, a lot of people like, and this is what the that happens on Twitter, and almost all fans are very reactionary. So he didn't have like the best of games. He misplaced quite a few passes. However, as I said, that's the first. I think that's his first start with Elliot and Gravenberch in the middle. So he's still getting to know people's movements. He's still getting to know. I think it was Kwanzaa and was it Kwanzaa who started? No, was it Konate and Van Dijk? Yeah, who started?
Van Dijk, yeah.
So yeah, he's starting to get to know them. And I know Van Dijk usually when a new player comes in, he doesn't really push them into. He doesn't really push the ball into them. He kind of like bypasses them with longer balls. So I saw it kind of was like a bit isolated in that game. However, you see the guys is determined. You see the guys he's not going to let one bad game affect him. And as I said, like in one of my shows, that you got to give a player like him time, especially someone that's coming from the Bundesliga. That's already like is not young and malleable. He's more older and he's structured in his way. So trying to change a little bit for Liverpool style might take him a little bit longer, but I said once he does, I'm confident that he'll be like a cult hero where everybody just loves him, kind of like a Origi.
Yeah,
he can come in, just do the job exactly like he did at Leicester, and break play and just keep it simple and keep it ticking for those. And then actually, I'm being a little bit disingenuous because that ball into Szoboszlai was absolutely quality because it took out three players. It took out three players into Szoboszlai, and then we saw what happened. That rocket.
What a goal that was! Yeah, I had to watch that goal on repeat quite a few times afterwards. But you're right about Endo. I think even the game in Leicester, for example, he was making a lot of the sort of setup in terms of the final third. Like he was the one pinging the balls in, because that was the question mark about him. That he's just a destroyer. He's just there to tackle people, but he can play as well. He's pinging a lot of good passes, different variations of passing as well. So I've been impressed in terms of what he's done so far. I think you need to have those type of players in your squad where they know they're not going to be starters week in, week out, but when they're selected, they're ready. And, that gum shield as well, he's ready for action. Just got a few comments here. So got Bobby K. Thank you for your comment, Bobby K. Bobby K is a Tottenham fan, so hope you're well. Red White Red said, yo, let's go. And he says, facts, bro. Please sleep on us. Yeah, I don't mind people sleeping on us. They can do what they want. We'll just sneak up behind and show up as the season goes on. And another comment here, right back is a midfield position now. I guess in a Liverpool format it is. At times we've had Trent, obviously Trent's traditionally right back, but you've had Bajcic there, you've had Jones there. At one point, you had Gomez there, which was a bit wild in my opinion to have him there in that role.
Exactly.
But didn't really work for me. And he's got another comment here: Gumshoe Samurai. Why not? Why not? You can give him all kinds of nicknames if you have to. In terms of our opponents, so I think they've definitely been one of the surprising teams so far this season. I know for a fact no one had them in like the top 6 or in their predictions before the season started. So what have you made of Tottenham's start so far? Have you been impressed with the new manager and the new style of play as well?
Yeah, Ange, let's call him Ange because that last name I was kind of struggle with. Yeah, he has impressed me. He's like, you can tell straight away from press conferences, and I think another manager that his first press conference impressed me was Arteta. These guys, you could tell the ball knowledge from the first press conference, or even if it's not ball knowledge, but the confidence that they're exuding is just shining through, that they're confident in what they want to see, and they're confident in bringing that out in the whatever team that they're managing. So you saw Tottenham went to the Emirates and absolutely didn't fear Arsenal, didn't back off them, and were playing exactly how they wanted to. Obviously, yeah, they had a lot of possession in their own half, but that was to relieve pressure. If you got the ball more times than not, then you're less likely to concede, and for them to have that constantly throughout the Arsenal game, and Arsenal are like a quality in pressing as well. So for them to do that against Arsenal was like, very, very brave from the manager. And we've got to respect Tottenham right now because the team is playing with confidence. The players are proper brought into Ange's philosophy. And it's all about, they will have ups and downs. I'm not saying that they're going to be flying throughout the whole season. They will have ups and downs. However, you can see that they're building like a group again, rather than individuals or relying on one player like they were with Harry Kane. They're building like a togetherness. Kind of like, it reminds me of like the early days of Liverpool where Klopp, when Klopp took over, you saw his first game, every single player running their hearts out. And we're like, yeah, we're not used to this. But you could see automatically like, yeah, look, Klopp's philosophy, counter pressing is coming through because that's the first easiest thing to obviously produce. And then later on, as you saw, you brought in some players, let go of some, and then molded the team in his own image. And that's what I think Ange is looking to do, and he probably will do.
Yeah, that's a good comparison in terms of Klopp's early years at Liverpool. I think they've recruited really well. I think a few years back when they sold Gareth Bale and they had like a bundle of money, the recruitment there was just awful to say the least. But this time around, like the left back they've got, Destiny Udogie as well, looks a quality left back. You've got Van der Ven. Do you think we missed the boat on Van der Ven, or?
I like him honestly. He's very he's very aggressive defender. He's willing to go blow for blow, and plus he's fast. The only issue is probably sometimes he may dwell on the ball a little bit, and that can get a bit risky. However, he's still young. Like a lot of these players are quite young, so you can see them, like once they understand the game fully and they understand, and they get the experience, you'll see them probably flying off. For Liverpool, that's actually one criticism I'll have for Liverpool. They don't take risks early enough, and so players like him should have been a risk taker. But however, you saw in the last few games that Kwanzaa was quality, and so Klopp might have thought, you know what, Kwanzaa's the guy.
Happy Kwanzaa, some fans like to call him. He's the guy right now, to be fair. One player that has impressed me, but I feel like we all know his qualities. Maddison, in terms of how he's slotted into that Tottenham team with ease. Looks like a different type of player. I think with him, it's always just about him staying fit. But how have you made of him in terms of how he's just slotted in so comfortably in that team?
Yeah, you know what? I honestly didn't rate Maddison too highly because I always thought he was like a luxury type of player that's not willing to work, kind of like a Ozil and over the years teams have come away from that. Those luxury players is not looking to work. However, he honestly earned my respect in the Arsenal game, where he was battling. He was fighting for every ball and showed his quality. Like he stole that ball off Jorginho that created the chance for Son and scored. So yeah, like he earned my respect for that, and could only give credit to himself and also the manager for bringing that in him, because I didn't think that he was that type of player to work hard and also have the flair and have the creativity. However, he has, and so he's 100% earned my respect.
No, most definitely. I think he's earned a lot of people's respect. I feel like we always know he was a good player, but did he have it in the locker to kind of be like the main guy at a club? And I feel like he's already in such a short space of time has become like a talisman there, because he's leading by example. He's working hard for the team as well. For me, the positive for Tottenham is the transition for Son to play more of a central role. I feel like that was always going to happen, but maybe managers in the past didn't have the confidence to do that. And I feel like when you've lost a goal scorer like Harry Kane, it's very difficult to find a replacement straight away. So if you've got someone in-house who has traits to kind of do a job as well, I feel like that was a smart decision in terms of how he's playing.
100%, especially if the backup is Richarlison. Can't rely on him.
Can't rely on him. He just be doing, pigeon dances wherever he is. So what we'll do now, I'll quickly just present in terms of the team news for Tottenham and Liverpool. So in terms of Tottenham, Brennan Johnson suffered a hamstring injury in the North London derby, so he may be out for this game. Maddison also suffered an injury. However, from what I've heard, he'll be facing a late fitness test. to try and make it for his fixture. So 50-50 in terms of his selection there. Spurs have a long list of other injured players as well, including Perisic, Lo Celso, Bentancur, Gil, and Sessegnon. So a bit of a headache in a negative way for Ange, big Ange, to him in terms of selecting his lineup. And for Liverpool, Trent is apparently back in training now, but may not be risked for this fixture. So a bit up in the air in terms of his selection there. Thiago, who we mentioned earlier on, from what we know, still not match fit. So I'm not sure if he'll be part of the squad. But in terms of the selection for Klopp, I think he's got a headache in terms of which attacker to go with. So best thing for us to do is chop it up in terms of who we think will start for both teams. So we'll start with Tottenham. So I'll just share the graphics with you guys, and then we can go through that together. So here we go. So I think it's probably safe to say in terms of that it will be, that's the Liverpool one. Let me change that up. I think for Tottenham, it will be a 4-2-3-1 formation. That's the formation that I think they will predominantly play. I don't think they'll match us in terms of how we set up. So I think it'll be safe to say that it'll be a 4-2-3-1. So in goal, safe to say is Vicaria. What have you made of his Spurs career so far?
No, he's doing well. He's got some iffy moments in him, but that's understandable because he's still young. However, yeah, he's done so far with what's come his way. He's dealt with it quite well, and he hasn't made any crazy major mistakes that cost the team. So yeah, I think he's done quite well.
He's done quite well. In terms of the back four, is it the same back four that played against Arsenal, or do you think there might be some changes?
I think it will probably be the exact same lineup. I know Porro, Udogio, and Romero plus Van de Ven will be the guys I know. Usually, there was no injury concern from that side. I don't think.
No, the fullbacks have been quite impressive, especially Porro. I know he joined quite late. He joined in January, didn't he? It took him a bit of time to get accustomed to the league, but I feel like he's a bit underrated in terms of how he's performed so far. In my opinion, I feel like he's a playmaker from a right back area, which is something that they've probably not had in quite a long time. So
he's got the energy. Porro's got the energy. He's got the creativity. He's got the intelligence. Also, sometimes he inverts as well. And Udogio, the guy's a beast. Honestly, like in the Man United game, I was so impressed with the guy. He was honestly occupying like Casemiro, Varane, these two, and what's his name, Wan-Bissaka, were all three were like, what do we do with this guy? Because he's turning up in positions that they're like, why is a left back here, bro?
He's everywhere. They can't even like mark him down. So no, that's that. I've been very impressed with him. I didn't know much about him, to be fair, before he joined Spurs, but I think with the first couple of games, I was thinking, oh, this guy, he looks a player. So another smart recruitment there from Tottenham.
100%.
Just another comment here from Red, White, and Red. Spurs have all been impressive, to be fair, but they haven't played us. They haven't indeed. So this is an exciting game. I feel like you got two informed teams that aren't going to play low block. They're going to go for the win. So it'll be an open game in terms of how the game pans out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Midfield two. Safe to say it's Bissouma and Salah, who for me have been formidable as a pairing so far.
Yeah, Salah's impressed me. I know, obviously, what's his name? I'm waiting for you to pop up the name because sometimes I get these brain farts.
Well,
Bissouma. There you go. Bissouma, yeah. So we know Bissouma's quality, but Salah's obviously impressed me. He kind of impressed me to the back end of last season when he was getting like game time, and I was thinking, who's this guy? When did they sign him? Like, and he was really quality on the ball. Guys, he's intelligent, he's calm, he's collective, and he's willing to go up and down for the team and showing great energy. And he scored an absolute wonderful goal against United. So I became like really, really impressed after that game.
No, most definitely. Do you think Maddison will start this game?
I think he probably will. The way he got up against Arsenal after that issue showed me that he'll probably have time to rest over the week and then come back and be ready for this game. If he's not, that's better for us, where we can absolutely. I don't know who's his replacement, whose direct replacement is. However, if Maddison's not there, the creativity is not 100%. Plus, he usually drifts and goes places and drags people to places they don't want to go. I don't know if you watched the United game, but he was dragging Casemiro all over the place.
Yeah, no, he was. I think in terms of their backup, it would have been someone like Lo Celso, but he's injured. I'm thinking Højbjerg would be the one, but he's not very creative player in that final third. So if he's not available, he'll be a big loss for Tottenham for sure. In terms of the wings, so Brennan Johnson, from what I've heard, is not available. He pulled a hamstring against Arsenal.
I think it's going to be that Solomon guy that will be playing on the left wing.
Solomon. Oh, yes, the one of the signings from the summer. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good shot, actually. And then Kulusevski on the right.
Yeah, Kulusevski will be on the right.
And then you've got Son.
Yeah, Son. He's a devastating finisher, man. We got to keep him outside that box as much as we can. Yeah, he seems to score always against us as well, so it's crazy.
He loves to score against us. He really does. I feel like it just turns up, especially, and if you see Klopp hugging him afterwards as well, just like, oh, you always got us in our pockets, you know. So that lineup looks like a strong lineup to me. Bissouma's been one of the best, I think, midfielders so far this season. What do you think?
100%. Like the guy. Defensively, his work and also how he's very calm and collective as well. Like when they've got possession of the ball, he keeps it ticking over, and even he's able to beat one or two men as well, just to create space and gaps and open it up for the likes of Maddison, the likes of it would have been Brendan Johnson, but Solomon, Kulusevski. These guys tend to get one of their players shifting to go stop Bissouma, and they'll start to get a space. So I've been impressed with him. He kind of woke up. He's like Conte wasn't the kind of manager for him. This Ange is absolutely giving him like a lot more responsibility with build-up play, and he's taken to it really well.
I think playing that double pivot suits him as well. I think with Conte as well, when he was playing as a lone DM, I feel like it might have been too much responsibility for him, because even at Brighton, he was playing a double pivot at times as well. So I feel like this is the role where it suits him, where he's not asked to be like the last man. He's supposed to like have a partner with him in crime to kind of move around the pitch. One kind of like old school 4-4-2, where one drops deep, one goes forward as well. So so I feel like it suits his sort of capabilities there.
Yeah, 100%, because he likes to take risks. And imagine him taking those risks as a lone DM. It wouldn't, because you saw there was actually one point against Arsenal where he absolutely lost the ball in those situations, and I think it was Sarr who came and mopped up. And if he wasn't there, then exactly what you said. Like it will be a lot more difficult for him to shine as he is right now.
No, most definitely. Just got a comment here from K-Mac channel. Big up everyone, big up yourself, K-Mac. Thank you for your comment. Red Wine Red says, good lineup, but not stressing, to be honest. Yeah, definitely. I'm not stressing out, but just look at this, the first team. I feel like it's a strong lineup. I feel like in terms of Tottenham's success this season, the key will be to keep these players fit, because once you get a few injuries here and there, I do feel like the quality dips in terms of their squad. I don't think that they have the strength and depth to kind of keep this momentum going. But, you know, long season ahead, so we'll see how it goes. In terms of, let's do Liverpool now. So,
it's going to be contentious.
It is going to be contentious. So let's pull up the Liverpool one. Formation-wise, how do you see us setting up? Do you see us trying to match them, 4-2-3-1? Do you see us playing our traditional 4-3-3? Or do you think Klopp might even do an inverted thing?
Yeah, I think we will stick with the inverted thing. I'm not sure, like depending on whether Trent starts or not, But what I liked about Trent, how they tweaked it, he didn't invert into midfield, rather inverted into a centre back position, where he's still got like the central areas to operate in.
Yeah.
However, he's not leaving that wing to Kanate alone or whoever ends up playing at right centre back. And it was Matip against Aston Villa. I remember that was probably his last game that he played for us, and yeah, he did quite well. And Gomez, obviously, Gomez is a lot more defensive. He does end up going into those areas as well. However, he showed against us against West Ham that he can actually drive with the ball sometimes if the space is there, and maybe he took a leaf out of Matip's playbook. Yeah. So yeah, depending on who plays there, I think we shouldn't risk Trent, honestly, just in case. Just like maybe have him as a trump card to come on if anything is going wrong. Then we could get like some more creativity from deep. But I would start Gomez as they reward him. He's been playing well. He's taken to it. He's getting like rhythm for that area. So why not? I think if Gomez plays, we could actually we can have like a really good speedy back line.
Yeah. Would you play a back four, or would it be a back three with someone being inverted, or would it be Gomez being inverted?
Yeah, Gomez he'll invert from time to time, but he usually, what I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, is like when we're really up the pitch, that's when he inverts. He doesn't invert from when we're really like, if we're deep playing out the back, he won't invert too early. He inverts only when the player's really gone up, and so yeah, it suits him. But obviously, like, he hasn't got Trent's skill set where he can pick out passes from there. However, he can. It's like a good defensive insurance where he can actually see what's happening and quickly put out any fires that might start to build up.
No, fair play. I agree. I think from what I've noticed, there's always just been like moments where the right back would be inverted. It wouldn't be how it was towards the latter stage of last season, where it became the norm formation. Like the flat setup was a 3-2-3. So I feel like even with this formation, it's 4-3-3, but on occasions the right back would be inverted. So no, I definitely agree with your point there. Just going here with red, white, and red. If Maddison don't start, I can see Son in the 10 and Richardson starting up top. Well, good luck to them. Good luck to them. And then another comment from red, white, and red. We won't change a thing. 4-3-3, 3-box-3. So what should we do, Noor? Should we do a box? 3-box-3, or should we do a 4-3-3?
Yeah, like you're better off doing a 3-box-3, because I know the 4-3-3 is more like when we don't have the ball. So hopefully we'll have a lot of possession, so we'll probably see that. Okay,
so safe to say Alisson starts in goal.
100%.
No question about that. Back three, so will it be Robbo,
Van Dijk, and Konate? I'm hoping.
Konate, yes. Konate had a decent game as well. Against Leicester. Kwanzaa, for me, was impressive. Barged off Justin like he was a little kid out of the way, him on his backside. So that was a good moment for the young defender there.
Very much, man. And he had the composure to pick out someone. So he picked out Jota and finished it off, which is really good.
That was a great finish by Jota. Trademark Jota, to be fair.
Yeah.
Goes. Double pivot. What are we going with? So it will be Gomez on this side, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then who would be his partner? Would it be Gomez or Endo? I'm sorry, Endo or McAllister?
Yeah, I think he's gonna go for McAllister. He did rest him against Leicester, so I think McAllister's back in. I honestly think that they've got really a plan for Thiago to be there. If you saw Pep Linders' interview or pre-match interview, he was like, McAllister. He's like, he can play there, but he's like, and he mentioned Thiago straight away, and he's like, Thiago's probably got like a little bit more better attributes to be a deep line guy that connects everything, keeps everything ticking from deep. And if McAllister's one of the 2 8s, we could be.
You know what? That is, I'm not joking. That's literally what I'm envisioning as well. When Thiago's back, I genuinely feel like Thiago will be the DM, and it will be McAllister and Szoboszlai.
Exactly.
And I think it will be a great balance to the team as well, because Thiago, the way he played at Bayern, he played in a double pivot, so he knows that role very, very well. And I feel like fans forget that as well. They're like, oh, they're looking at Thiago within like the Liverpool career, where he's had to be more of a makeshift left-sided 8 rather than playing the deep role. I feel like for Bayern,
exactly,
amazing football there.
Exactly. I don't think like it suits him. Like I know Klopp. I remember after the Chelsea game in the FA Cup final, where he was telling Klopp, yeah, you taught me how to run. Like, and I don't think that's his game. That's probably like that's what's burning him out. Honestly, like to be in that 8 and covering so much ground, especially for a Liverpool team, I don't think it suits him. But if he's deep, where everything is like is being created, and I'm just thinking like, you know, Trent and him deep lying, one that can, you know, do the long stuff and one can do the short stuff.
Game over. Game over. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny you mentioned. I do remember seeing an interview. I can't remember who it was with, but he did mention about the running thing, where he's like, yeah, I think he said my weakness is that I'm not a runner or something along those lines. So so that's a fair point. But I feel like with Thiago, I think since he's joined Liverpool, he's had to play that role because of the players we had in our squad. So we had like Fabinho, Henderson. So these guys didn't have that flair or that kind of dribbling ability. They weren't ball carriers at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we've got ball carriers in the team, so he can actually play his natural role now, which to me is exciting stuff.
Exactly, and we've got athletes, bro. So if he does get out of position, you got Szoboszlai that's covering again. So you've got Gomez. If Gomez plays there, who can cover. Konate that can cover. It's a lot of these, you know, because he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's pretty slow, if I be honest.
Yeah.
So he needs quite fast players around him to cover that ground for him, and he can occupy still those spaces because he's defensively minded as well. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the tackles you see flying in is him. And sometimes you're like, hey, relax yourself, like save yourself, innit? I don't want you going in and then getting injured. Yeah,
I mean with Thiago as well. Like, one thing that I always noticed, like, he's good at aerial challenges. Like, he likes to jump and like really go for it, and he gets the ball most of the time as well. Exactly. But in my head, I'm thinking, mate, you need to, like, you know, that awkward landing where you like twinge your ankles. I don't want that. So please just like calm down. But I think people are sleeping on the fact that Thiago is not here yet. Like, once he's available, I feel like we'll actually hit another level. I'm telling you, like, if he can stay fit, for me, that would be sensational.
That's exactly, like, you know, a bit of rumors came out a few days or a week ago or something that Liverpool are looking to negotiate a new deal with him, and I was like, please do it, especially in this role where you can play him sparingly. Like, you don't have to start him every game. He can come on the last 30 minutes and control games. I would love to see that.
And I think with Thiago as well, I think he knows in terms of his stage of his career right now, he's not going to go knocking on Klopp's door and say, oh, you need to start me week in, week out. I think he knows in terms of, like, you know, he's had niggling injuries here and there, but he knows, like, he'll be played in the big games. And that's the type of player we need. You mentioned it earlier on. When you play the likes of Man City, you need that type of player in the squad because they're the ones that keep possession, keep the ball ticking as well. And you need ball possession-based players. And I think we've got that in abundance now, to be fair.
100%, exactly that. Like the 2 games in the quad season where we almost did the quad, he was absolutely sensational against Man City in both games, and I was like, wow, like we saw the real Thiago. He didn't really need to cover ground as much because that's how Man City play, and he matched them, man. And I was thinking, right, I'm so glad that he didn't go to Man City because it would have been absolutely like ridiculous, him and KDB in that midfield.
No, that was a game over 10 as well. To be fair, let's go a few more comments here. We got Uncle Roz, big up brothers, big up yourself, Uncle Roz. Thank you for tuning in.
Uncle Roz.
got another comment. Red, white, red. Starting 11 prediction, and you talking about Thiago dead. Listen. Like, I think Noor is probably another Liverpool fan that has the same kind of wavelength in terms of players that I like to see in the pitch. And yeah, I think we're both big fans of Thiago. So, you know, if we got to mention, we got to talk about him in detail, you know. So
100%.
It is what it is. But all right, we'll move on. We'll speak about the midfielders. So who do you think starts in the advanced role? Obviously, Hungarian Gerald has to be there, right?
Yeah, 100%. He's in.
So who'll be his partner? Would it be Curtis Jones, or do you think someone else like Elliot or someone else in the squad might get, or Gravenberch, would he get a chance?
That's the thing. Like, I'm not sure. Like, we've got a couple of options now in that position, and I'm all for obviously Gravenberch starting. However, just to keep him like, you know, ticking, will be good if he just keeps making his getting the game time in the Europa, the Carling Cup or whatever, or the Carabao they call it nowadays. Yeah, so Jones is a little bit more familiar with the role, and he's been playing there with Szoboszlai and McAllister the last few games. Yeah, I'm all for like just keeping the rhythm and not changing too much too early.
No, fair enough. So Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai would be the two midfielders. So let's add them in. Curtis Jones. He was very impressive as well against Leicester City, so I feel like he definitely deserves.
Yeah, you can't leave him out after that. Yeah.
No, to be fair, he hasn't done a foot wrong all season. I feel like he's been one of our consistent performers. So really good to see him back in action as well.
Yeah.
Front three. No, this is the dilemma.
This is the mad one, you know that. This is so mad, like, because we could literally play. And wait, Salah obviously goes in. He's guaranteed his spot.
Yeah. It's as certain as it gets there. So
but
this is the one. This is the debate one every week. Every week I'm like, who starts? So who plays in this game?
I'm gonna go for Nunez only because I think he can get some change out of Romero.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Romero's quite rash, and he may jump into things, especially with the speed of Nunez. And I think he might be able to get, because like last season going away, it was Nunez on the left actually that kind of exposed him, because he was he was on the left, and they didn't know what to do with him. But that's Conte in it. That's Conte and his system. But yeah, I think we might need that pace up front, to be honest. So I'm gonna go for Nunez.
Yep, I had the same kind of vision. I feel like he'll cause havoc against Romero and even Van der Ven, who's probably not faced that type of striker yet in the league. So
yeah, exactly.
You know, Mr. Chaos will definitely produce those moments. I think running 100%. On the shoulder as well. I know Van der Ven, like you mentioned earlier, has that recovery speed as well, but he hasn't been tested. So let's see how he does up against Nunez. Left wing, who do we play there?
Left wing, I'm gonna go a little left field here, and I'll go for Gakpo, to be honest.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm gonna say that is because I think him and Nunez got a good relationship where they can interchange that position. Like if Nunez has to go up against Porro and create havoc from that side, he can do. And Gakpo can obviously come deep and play. And the best example I've got is against United. You know, when Nunez picked up the central role, and then Varane didn't know where to go now. He's like, should I stay with Nunez or should I go with Gakpo or what? And he left Gakpo, and then you saw the goal that he scored. And so we might be able to cause a bit of friction, but I would go with Gakpo just to mess with Tottenham mentally. I know Diaz obviously doesn't deserve to get out of the team. However, I'm trying to I want to reserve him. Like you can see the guy puts in a hell of a lot of effort almost every game, and he's probably the only one that I'm confident in. He can come off the bench and quickly, you know, get to grips with the game and cause a different problem for Spurs.
Do you know what? I don't think there's a wrong or right answer, to be fair, in terms of who starts left wing.
Who would you go for?
Originally, I would have gone for Jota. I feel like Jota had, I think he's got a good record against Spurs as well. So that's kind of like a good omen in terms of he likes to score against Spurs. But also, I feel like the goals that he scored recently, especially against Leicester, I feel like he's on that goal scoring streak right now. So I feel like he might, but then again, I feel like he can be really effective off the bench as well. So it's kind of like, what do you do? But Diaz, I feel like he can do damage as well. It's such a good headache to have. But I feel like any one of them, and like I wouldn't be mad who starts, to be honest with you. I feel like it comes down to preference. But all three of them have a case. Where, like you said, the Gakpo one, I think tactically that makes sense as well, because to have them interchanging as well, it's just gonna give them. It's gonna stress out the right side of Tottenham there, and having Nunez out wide as well, and then you've got Gakpo, and then a lot of even like Szoboszlai interchanging with the front three as well is a possibility.
Exactly.
So you can't rule that out. Diaz would be more predictable in terms of his movement, where he's a proper old school out and out winger on the byline. So you know what you're getting from him. I know he likes to cut in and try and shoot, but he's a bit more predictable in terms of how he plays. Jota works hard, but he can roam around, and he finds good positions in the 6-yard box as well, which is quite useful. So 100%. Look, they all got a case. So you know
they do, and like another reason probably why I went for Gakpo is I'm just trying to keep him a little bit confident. Like I don't want him to lose confidence for the season, because we're gonna 100% need him. And so I know he hasn't started the last few games apart from the Carabao Cup, but just to give him that incentive. Look, bro, we still believe you can do stuff in that. So
but that's the beauty of our squad. Like we can switch them around, and I feel like that's one of Klopp's key strengths as well, is that he keeps the morale together in the squad, where I don't feel like people feel unjust in terms of not being selected. They know they'll be involved in some shape or form. So even if we're like losing or we haven't scored yet, the likes of Gakpo, Jota, whoever's on the bench, they can come on and be game changers as well. So it's a more togetherness in terms of how we play as a team, which, you know, other teams are probably jealous in terms of how together we are as a squad, because a lot of them are disjointed right now. But, you know, it is what it is. Another comment here from Red, White, and Red. I like it, but Coley just centrally, naturally. Same with Jota, so Diaz gets in there for me. It's a fair point.
That's true. Sometimes they can get in each other's way, and it sometimes can become a little bit of a mess. I don't know if you saw it yesterday. Was it Gakpo and Jota got in each other's way when we were pressing?
Yeah.
And we could have won that ball if they didn't get in each other's way. But it can. Yeah, it's true. It can happen. But Diaz, I feel he's obviously the one that's most like completely different to the others. But as you said, man, it's like I'm not too fussed either way. Whoever starts up top, I'm not too fussed in the forward line.
No, I totally agree with you. I think we'll leave that headache for Klopp to figure out. But look, whoever starts, I'm not mad. I'm just excited to see how we do against Tottenham in terms of score predictions. So what are we saying though? What's your score prediction for this game?
I've got to go 3-1 in it. That's done as well over the last few days, over the last few weeks, in it. but yeah, on a serious note, I think we might just sneak it 2-1.
You're going for 2-1. Who's your goal scorers?
My goal scorer is gonna be I'm gonna have Nunez and Szoboszlai.
I like
maybe
that.
like a 98th minute winner from Szoboszlai. Rocket.
That'll be sensational. So I actually went for 3-1. I have it written down. I'm shameless. You know, that's our favorite scoreline right now. We've won it. We won 5 games this season with 3-1. So I'm shameless. So,
there was a few preseason ones at 3-1 as well. So
yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah, you're right. You know, I mean that's our favorite scoreline right now. So So I'm going for Son to be the goal scorer for Spurs. And for Liverpool, I'm going with Szoboszlai, Jota, and I think Salah will score as well. So, yeah, guys, let us know in the comments. Even if you're watching a replay, let us know what you think the score prediction will be. Me and Nur are very, very excited about this game. So, look, it's going to be an open game. I think it's safe to say that we're expecting to see some goals. If it's 0-0, I'll be distraught. But, you know, that's football sometimes. But
yeah.
it is what it is. But thank you to everyone for tuning in, guys. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Nur, as always, thank you for coming on the show. Please let the people know where to find you on social and how to find your channel on YouTube as well.
Yeah. Nurbeats on YouTube, football analysis, and also on Twitter. I'm active on those two places at the moment. I dabble here and there on TikTok, but it's the same exact name, Nurbeats. But yeah, thank you, obviously, Ozzie, for having me and allowing me to share your platform and obviously have a really good opportunity in discussing the upcoming match against Tottenham. Liverpool flying high, and it's good to collab, especially when it's good times and good vibes.
Most definitely. And look, I wouldn't even say you're a guest on the show now. You're part of the channel now. So yeah, you'll be on this channel a lot more this season, I'm sure. I like your take in terms of tactical analysis as well. So yeah, thank you for coming on. Just got a comment here from Red, White, and Red before we conclude the show. Liverpool 3-2. The sun rises sets, and Son scores goals against LFC. He does. He likes to go score some goals against us, but let's see how it goes. Excited in terms of this game. I will be doing a match reaction. It won't be on the day on Saturday night. I'll be doing it on Sunday night. So, Nur, if you're available, feel free to come on. Hopefully, we'll be cheering and joy in terms of a szoboszlai rocket. That's what we're dreaming of right now. So, more to come in terms of those type of goals. But as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very soon. Goodbye.